you all once again for this. I will just give a quick run through about our college, that is Alpha College of Engineering. So about myself, I'm Dr. B. Soumya, Principal, Alpha College of Engineering. I have nearly 25 years of experience in engineering, academics and research. And our Alpha College of Engineering, it is located in Chennai, that is Tirumalizai, Chennai, that is very much nearer to Pundamalli. This college is established in the year 2006. In the area, we have the area 65 acres and the built up area in that is 12 acres. It is approved by AICTE, affiliated to Anna University, and for our standard, we have been certified by ISO 9001 2015. We offers 5 UG program and 1 PG program. The 5 UG program are covered into 2 streams. One is Bachelor of Engineering, another one is Bachelor of Technology. In Bachelor of Engineering, we offer Biomedical Engineering, Computer Science and Engineering, Electronics and Communication Engineering, Mechanical Engineering, and in BTech, we offer Information Technology. And PG program, we offer Master of Business Administration. So Biomedical Engineering, whoever aspired to become a doctor, if they are not able to get it in NEET, as you know, this period when the corona is increasing, the ventilator usage and other things are increasing. So the need of biomedical engineer, we can very well see. So if somebody wants to do some service to the society, and if they cannot become a doctor, that is their wish to become a doctor and that they cannot make, then they can very well choose biomedical engineering, which is very much allied to medical field. And what we do here is we do design instruments because it requires the biological knowledge, whatever the student possesses, to design an engineering device which would be helpful to the healthcare field. And computer science and engineering, as you know, all artificial intelligence, robots, everything that has been with computer science engineering. Whatever internet we are using with that, whatever programs we are making, data analytics, everything that is being offered in the computer science field. Then electronics and communication. Now the communication has become so friendly. Even in your mobile, probably most of you are seeing your classes on mobile, and many of them are doing it with PC as well. This all sort of communication, whether it is wireless, wired, everything comes under electronics and communication field. Then we do offer mechanical engineering. Mechanical engineering is a basic engineering. Without that, other engineering cannot be done, because whenever you think of any kind of humanoid or anything, the design part is done by the mechanical engineer. You have to know what should be the weight of the instrument or weight of the robot so that it can move fast. So all these mechanical parts, the movement, motion, everything comes with the mechanical engineering. Then information technology, we know information is plenty and we have to process it. We have to get whatever we require from that. So that is why we offer information technology as well. Then Master of Business Administration, you very well know that you have to be best administrator to excel in field. Though you join as an engineer, ultimately you end up with a promotion and you will be going as a manager. So for that, Master of Business Administration is very much required. So the intention of Alpha College of Engineering is to make a student best in the chosen field. Whatever be the knowledge of the students when they enter the college, we want them to be best when they go out of the college. So that is what we need. For that, we have student assisting units. One is career development cell, another one is entrepreneurship development cell. Then we have got business English certification training cell. Then SwissMem training also we do offer. Then Pan IIT leadership series, that also we offer. So the ultimate goal of career development cell to develop the overall personality of the students. So for that, what we offer is aptitude training, interpersonal skills training, and soft skills training. Aptitude training, you need that because whenever you face the placement recruitment or placement test, whatever is happening in the beginning, that would be on the aptitude. So we train them on general aptitude, that is your quantitative reasoning and qualitative reasoning, everything we train you on. Then interpersonal skills training, we want our students to work in team, because ultimately you'll not be doing any project alone. You will be working as a part of a team. So this interpersonal skills will improve your participation in team efforts. So that also we develop. Then we have got the soft skills training. Communication is very much required, and the posture and how you present yourself, all these things decides your personality. So overall personality development of a student is taken care by our career development cell. Then we have got entrepreneurship development cell. So as we feel that our student need not be just job seekers, we want them to be job providers as well. For that, we have got this EDC. So EDC, usually it is tied up with all prestigious institutions like NSIC, MSME, Neon, and Enactus, all those things. So what they do offer is they offer orientation sessions to our students so that the student can know how to project their project idea and get funding for that, and how can they start up new ventures. So that is what EDCell is meant for. So those lectures given by all these institutions help them in that, and otherwise also we do help our students in their ventures. Then business English certification, as you know, this is offered by the Cambridge University, UK. So ultimately, whatever your knowledge, you have to give it to the people who are in front of you, right? That is what is required. If you possess knowledge and you will not be able to express it, there is no meaning in having that knowledge at all. So communication is rather important. So for that, we are tying up with Cambridge University and offer this course for improving their communication skills, ultimately to improve their employability skills as well. So all part of English, that is listening, speaking, reading, and writing, all 4 skills we train as students on. We emphasize on all 4 skills, and we train them on that, and ultimately they'll be taking a test with Cambridge University, and the business English certification will be provided to our students. We have Center of Excellences for each department and multidisciplinary courses as well. One is Cisco Laboratory, as you know, that provides you CCNA certification, that is the networking certification. So this CCNA certification, if you consider, this is for networking, which can be taken up by CSE, ECE, as well as IT students. Even if somebody from biomedical and mechanical are interested in having a networking certificate, then they are also welcome to take up this certificate. This Cisco certification, it has got 5 levels of certification. So each level, when you do it outside, it would cost you nearly 20 to 25,000 for each level. So here we offer it free of cost. Then for mechanical engineers, for their CAD design, we are providing them Autodesk Inventor certification. So that again is free of cost. Again, when you do it outside, it would be costing you. Then we are tying up with Oracle Academy and provide all Oracle software certification like Java programming, Oracle, or programming. So any discipline of students can take up these programming certificates because it would be helpful for them in their field. Then big data analytic design. For that, we have tied up with Dell EMC, and we are offering this for all our students. And every student who wants to join engineering, their aim would always be to join IIT. So they want to crack JEE and join IIT, if not NIT. So that being the case, we want our students to be exposed to the IIT environment. So for that, we have tied up with PALS, that is Pan IIT Leadership Series. So they offer seminars with IIT professors. They come to our college and they do deliver lectures as part of PALS collaboration. Then they offer competition in that many of the college students do participate, and our college students also compete with them, and they have won prizes as well. Then residential workshops, that is happening in IIT itself. Our students will be visiting IIT and they'll be staying there for 3 to 5 days, where they would be given some tasks which they will be completing, and they will be staying in IIT for that as well. So that is the ultimate exposure to the IIT environment they get. Then Pan IIT's leadership series, they arrange industrial visits with leading industries as well. SwissMem certification. As you know, the 2 countries which are known for precise engineering are Switzerland and Germany. So Switzerland offers very everybody's dream, because precise engineering is what we ultimately want. We want everything what we get, we want it to be precise. So for that, Switzerland is the country to go. And this SwissMem is the leading technical association for engineering industry in Switzerland. Through them, we offer machine learning and mechatronics. Though the student cannot directly go to Switzerland, they are exposed to the teaching pattern of Switzerland so that they learn these 2 courses, that is machine learning and mechatronics. So machine learning and mechatronics, it is required in this pandemic period because we don't want the healthcare professional to be exposed to the dangerous environment. So what we want is, what China has done is humanoid nurses they have used. Like that, if we could use the humanoids, ultimately you can think of it as a part of mechanical, electronics, and computer science all put together, and it requires the biomedical field as well. If you consider that you will be seeing that mechatronics, as part of this, mechatronics will be like we are giving the robo, making the robo work with electronics part. So all this requires the mechanical engineers input as well as electronics engineers input. Then we provide them artificial intelligence. The artificial intelligence is learning from pattern. So that has been provided by programming, that language they have to know, and they have to program it in such a way that it would be helpful to the humans. So whenever, whatever time they require their medicine, what medicine to give, all these are the knowledge of biomedical engineers required for that. And that would be programmed by the computer science and the IT engineers, who will be feeding the humanoids with all the data, and they will ultimately give whatever service required for the humans. So that is the thing. We give these two certification under SwissMems. One is machine learning, another one is mechatronics. Then we offer our students SkillRack online courses. This is for improving their programming skills as well as problem solving skills. So what happens is, when they do take up their competitive exams, they are exposed to the environment, and they would be doing the exams well. So for that, we continue with the SkillRack online courses. And achievements, college achieved 40th rank with the Silicon India survey. So we stood in the top in 100 colleges of engineering colleges of India. We stood at the position of 40. Our student Malavika Nair has won gold medal and university first rank. This is the photo of her receiving her gold medal from her Honorable Governor Balwarilal Purohit sir. So that is this. So she has stood first in Anna University exams. We Teaching Excellence Award from Education Matters in the year 2019. So this is the photograph of us receiving the Teaching Excellence Award. So other than that, whatever your achievements I have enlisted here, consistently have produced ranks and gold medals. And our students such as AICT, ISRO, then the Tamil Nadu State Council of Science and Technology for their projects and seminars. And our students, they do pursue their higher studies in leading universities all over the world, from European countries as well as US. They do receive their higher studies PG certificates. And our sports facilities, we have got excellent sports facilities. We have got spacious ground, and our students have won gold medals in zonal and state levels. One of our students has been taken to national level program as well. She has been chosen for national level participation. She is representing Tamil Nadu state in her national level competition. And we have got spacious cricket and football grounds. And we offer scholarship to our students. SCSC students, total 100% fee waiver is there. And for first graduate, we do offer a concession of 25,000. And we offer merit scholarships as well. Marks above 90 and a certain slab of merit certificate, merit scholarship is there. And 75% also we offer scholarship. And for 65% and above also, we do offer scholarship. So our learning environment, if you see, it is comprised of well-trained, dedicated faculty members who are friendly with these students. And we have non-teaching staff. They are also well-behaved and they are very polite. So this is an amicable learning environment where you can feel free to consult your staff without any fear, and they will be helping you out with all your difficulties. So Alpha College of Engineering, ultimately it is a home away from home. So when you join Alpha, you will feel as if you are in your home. So we do want you to stay home at this pandemic situation and stay informed and stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your wonderful presentation and a nice thought to begin our workshop with. I take the privilege to invite Tamiselvi ma'am to give away the presentation for our participants.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You
Yes.
are, ma'am.
Okay, dear participants, welcome back for the second day of bridge course, that is integral calculus. So I received a few assignments, so in which very few people have completed the work, and two of them have said that they have not yet completed. But still, please do it, because just studying. See, there is a difference between studying and learning. So you study for your exams and you learn for your to gain knowledge. So learning is important, and to study you need to learn. So only if you gain knowledge, you can apply it. So that is the difference between studying and learning. So always try to learn. That is, try to gain knowledge so that it will stay with you forever. And just if you want to study just for the examination, after the examination is over, you will forget. So don't go for that kind of study. So always I advise you to learn your subjects. So learning should happen every day and every minute. Okay. So now we shall, today, as yesterday itself I told you, we are going to see applications of integration. So now this is I want to clarify one thing. This is bridging the gap between the school education and college education, and I don't want to go deep into engineering mathematics, because you will be studying when you join in engineering college, or even in arts and science college also. Those who want to join there also, you will be going for the higher concepts. So today we are going to see application of single integration only. Actually, I'm not going to touch any double integration or triple integration, as many of you have asked me. So that is why I just wanted to make clear. So, and moreover, there are many methods of integration also. There are many number of methods. So which if I start, we won't be able to complete it within 2 days. So integration is a vast subject, and you have according to the function, you can find many ways and means to solve or to evaluate the integration. So today we will start our session with applications. So you can see calculus everywhere, wherever you in day-to-day life, everywhere you can see your calculus. That is when you visualize it, objects in at your home itself, you can see the clock. So there also differential calculus is there, and even if you go to the kitchen, and you can see that you need the volume of the vessels everywhere. So calculus is everywhere. Now we are going to see today about work done, area, volume, and center of mass. Very few applications I have taken, because there are many more applications, not restricted to this. Now, first, what is work done? So actually, when you sit in a chair, no work is being done. So it is, but you exert energy. Energy is exerted to the chair. You give pressure. And suppose you see the second picture, here you push a feather. So feather is very light. Though why I have taken this example is because though it is light, some work is being done, because when it travels, if you push a feather, it travels to some distance. So which means the work is done there. Whereas by sitting in a chair, no work is done. Now, what is a definition of work? So the work actually literally it means total amount of effort required to perform a task. So when you want to perform a task, some amount of effort it is required. Now in physics, we define work as a dependent on force. That is with using the concept of force, we define work done. Now, what is force? Force is described. It is described as a push or pull on an object. So when you exert a push or pull on an object, when you give a push or pull, So some force is happening to that object. Now the examples are the horizontal push of a book across a table or the downward pull of the Earth's gravity on a ball. So both actually there is some work is being done. Now, so what is force? In general, actually, according to Newton's motion, you say that it is F is equal to mass into acceleration. So now, if an object moves along a straight line, let us assume that the object is moving along a straight line with the position function. So there is a function S of t, which means, so according to t, the S of t will change. So t is independent, S depends upon the time. Then the force on the object is defined by Newton's second law of motion as a product of its mass and its acceleration. So acceleration, actually it is the second derivative. So first derivative is velocity and the second derivative is acceleration. So F is equal to mass into A. A is nothing but d squared S by dt squared. So this S is the distance dependent on time. So when you first differentiate, you will get velocity, and the next time again, if you differentiate, you will get acceleration. So now, in the standard international standard metric system, the mass is measured actually in kilogram, and displacement in meters, time in seconds, and the force, of course, in newtons. So thus, if you give a force of 1 Newton, which acts on a mass of 1 kg, so it produces an acceleration of 1 meter per second. So if the acceleration is constant, the force F also is constant. That means work done will be force into distance, simply force into distance. Now, let us take some example. See how much work is done when you lift a 1.2 kg book off the floor to put it on a desk that is 0.7 meter high. So you are taking a book from the ground and then you want to place it on the table. So we have to notice that we have to use this acceleration g is equal to 9.8 meter per second square. Now how do you find this? The work done, the force exerted will be equal and opposite to the that exerted by the gravity, because you are pulling the book up. So F is equal to mg mass into gravitation, which will give you 11.76 Newton. Thus the work done will be W equal to F into D. So force into how much distance you have lifted. So 0.7 meter high you have lifted. Now another example. So how much work is done in lifting a 20-pound weight 6 feet off the ground? So it is here the force is given as F equal to 20 pounds. So the force is given. Now the work done is actually W equal to FD, that is 20.6 into 120. Now here you are lifting a 20 pounds. So you are taking F as a F itself is 20 pounds. So now in B, we did not have to multiply by G because this force is given as 20 force itself is given. Okay. So lifting pounds means F equal to 20 pounds. Now, so when the force is variable, what happens? So suppose that that the object moves along the x-axis in a positive direction from x is equal to A to x is equal to B. So now when it moves at each point x between these two endpoints, that is A and B, a force F of x acts on the object. So that is the force, for example, a train like that. So bus, moving object. So F of x acts on the object. Now F is actually a continuous function, F of x. So now, so before going into the actual Riemann sums, to apply for this, we have to understand something, basic things. So displacement. So what is displacement? When an object moves according to the time it moves, the displacement is done. So at each and every point, in this, see from 0, it moves like this. So A to B, and according to time, wherever if you stop and if you find a point, if you choose a point on the curve, so it actually for each and every point you can find what is the display, how much displacement as by the particle. Okay. Now, so according to Riemann sums, we are going to use the same technique. We divide the interval into n subintervals with n points, x0, x1, etc., xn, and of course with equal width. Now, we'll choose a sample point within the ith interval, that is xi star. Then the force at that point will be f of xi star. Now, how to calculate work done for this? If n is large, we know that this width will be very small, and f is continuous. The value of f does not change very much over the interval. So f is since f we are assuming that it is a continuous function, so we need not worry about the change. It will be very infinitesimal. So in the interval xi minus 1 comma xi, we are actually this is a general interval. So f is almost constant in the interval. So that is why we are taking it as f of xi star. That is force into that is f of xi is the height of the each rectangle. So the work done Wi will be for each rectangle, for each rectangles, you have f of xi star into delta x. This is approximately equal, f of xi star into delta x. So now, so you can tell me what is the approximate work done. So now for each interval we have calculated the area. So what will be the total work done? Can anybody answer me? Yesterday what we have said, I myself have given. So Wi is equal to summation I equal to 1 to n f of xi star into delta x. So now if n is large, okay, what happens? N tends to infinity. We will allow this to infinity. So that is, so this is actually for n intervals we are calculating the Riemann sum. So for each rectangles, for n rectangles, we add the area between the area of all the rectangles. Okay. So now we define the work done in moving the object from A to B. So it is actually the limit of the quantity as n tends to infinity. See, now look at this Riemann sum. So we are here, we have, as I told you, you have to allow n to touch infinity. So to go to infinity. Now limit n tending to infinity, summation I equal to 1 to n f of xi star into delta x. So this is your work done. So we said yesterday, we have seen that it is actually it is denoted as an integral A to B. So when n tends to infinity, we are unable to actually sum it up, because I equal to 1 to infinity means we want to multiply all this f of x1 delta x, f plus f of x2 delta x plus etc. up to f of x infinity infinity star delta x. So how will you, when will you end adding up? So that is why this concept integral A to B f of x dx. So this is your work done. So work done, we have to remember that formula is integral A to B. So work done from moving an object work done of moving an object from a point A to the point B is nothing but integral A to B f of x dx. Now, so we have studied Hooke's law. So it is for spring. This is another movement, another displacement. So the force required to maintain a spring stretched x units beyond its natural length is proportional to x. So this is f of x equal to k times x. F of x is proportional to x. So that is actually equal to some constant times x. So k is a positive constant. Now, this law will be valid only if x is not too large. So in the first picture, you can see that natural position of the spring. This is frictionless surface. Actually, the surface we assume that it is frictionless. So natural position is like this. Suppose if you stretch this position, so stretched position of the spring is, so f of x equal to kx, it is moved. So from the origin, that is from the origin, it has moved to x distance. So if you apply this force, f of x is equal to k times x. So this is Hooke's law. Now, again we will understand with an example. So a force of 40 newtons is required to hold a spring that has been stretched from its natural length of 10 centimeter to a length of 15 centimeter. So this is the situation. Now we have to calculate how much work is done in stretching the spring from 15 to 18 centimeters. So we have to calculate the work done, the extended work done. So we know this Hooke's law says that f of x is equal to k times x. Now actually the amount of stretch is 5 centimeter, isn't it? 10 centimeter to 15 centimeter means what is the length stretched amount? That is 5 centimeters. So which means that what is f of xi? F of x, that is 0.05. F at 0.05 is equal to 40. So because it is k times x. So it is given to be 40. That force is given to be 40. So we have to calculate k. So k will be 40 divided by 0.05. That is actually 800. So k is the constant. That the value of the constant we have calculated is 800. Now what is the work done? So with k as 800, you just want to find out what is the work done from 0.05 to 0.08. 800x dx. So here we are taking this 800 as a constant outside of the integral, and x dx, of course you know the formula, that is x squared by 2. You have to apply the limit, upper and lower limit, and then if for x squared, you upper limit, if you substitute, you will be getting 0.08 squared, and minus the lower limit 0.05 squared. So that actually happens to be 1.56 joules. Now one more example we shall see. So now you can imagine a tank which has the shape of an inverted circular cone. So this is the height of the cone given, 10 meter, with the base radius is 4 meter. So this radius is given to be 4 meter. Now it is filled with water to a height of 8 meters. So up to 8 meters it is filled. Now find the work required to empty the tank. So now we have to empty the tank. So already it has been filled up to 8 meters. Now we have to find the work done by pumping all the water to the top of the tank. So now density of water, actually we can assume, we know that the density is 1000 kilogram per meter cube. Now how will you find the solution? Now look at this figure. Actually we can split this into small circles. So you know that the cone is built up on circles with increasing radius. Okay, so the cross section of a cone is nothing but a circle. So now the water extends from the depth of 2 meter, that is this 2 meter depth, to a 10 meter depth. So now we divide this interval. So this 2, 10. See, from the origin till 10. So 2, 10, you have to divide with endpoints x0, x1, etc. xn, and choose xi star in the ith subinterval. So now we are going to choose xi star. So this is the xi star. So this thing, and in for xi, you have the radius as ri. So this circle, this particular circle, ith circle or ith subinterval, we have the radius ri, and whose, of course, we want to keep a constant width, that is delta x. Okay. Now, so this divides the water into n layers. Now we are going to divide this water into n layers of circle. With ri as the radius of ith circle, and delta x is the width of the circle. So now, how will you calculate the compute Ri? So we have to go take a congruency, that is similar triangles. So according to the similar triangles, now Ri by 10 minus xi star, that is ratio of two sides will be equal to ratio of the bigger rectangle, sides of the bigger rectangle. So Ri divided by 10 minus xi star equal to 4 by 10 equal to 4, that is this parallel, say a similar side, 4 divided by 10. So out this will give you Ri as 2 by 5 because if you bring this 10 minus xi star there and you have, if you solve, you will get it as 4 by 10 is nothing but 2 by 5. So to study, to apply the integration or application of anything, we need many fields of mathematics. So here also we need some geometrical knowledge. Now the solution. So finally we are going to give the solution. So for the ith layer, what is the volume? That is pi r, the circle of the area of the circle into height. So the area of the circle is pi ri squared into delta x. So pi r squared into h. That is the volume of the circle with that is the small disk, pi ri squared delta x. So this is equal to what is that ri squared? You have that value and you substituting this one. So now what is this mass? So we need to calculate the mass also. It is nothing but density into volume. So approximately it is equal to 1000 times this one. So the value is 160 pi into 10 minus xi the whole squared into delta x. So now force required. So force required. So we have calculated the mass and multiply by the gravity 9.8. So you will be approximately getting it as 1575 into 10 minus xi the whole squared, xi star the whole squared into delta x. Now each particle in the layer should travel. That is, see, we are actually pumping out the water. So each and every particle should come up. It has to travel a distance. So now the work done to raise this layer to the top. That is the work done for the water to come to the layer. Some force is required, that you take it as Fi and the distance xi star. So what is Fi? This Fi only we have calculated 1570 into pi 10 minus xi star the whole square delta x. So this into delta x. So this is how this Wi is approximately, see, for each circular disk we have done, we have calculated this Wi. But we have not yet calculated the whole total work done. That is the total work done in emptying the entire tank. So we have to allow n tending to infinity. Now we have divided only n circular disk, but we have to allow those n into infinity. So to infinity means this delta x becomes almost 0. Delta x tending to 0, it is like a thin circle. Delta. So when delta actually it is not 0. So delta x tending to 0 and you allow n to infinity. So when you allow n tending to infinity, this delta x will tend to 0. So that is how this is only we have given the integral 2 to 10. That is from 2 meter to 10 meter. So 2 to 10 and dx. So this is the whole function. So 1575, it is a constant, you can take outside. Now 100 into x, so here afterwards you need not put xi star. So you take it as x and that is 100x minus, what is 10 minus x the whole square? You just expand a minus b the whole square. So you get 100 minus x, a minus b the whole square, a square minus 2ab plus b squared. So after applying all these formula and then integrating, you get 100x squared by 2, that is 50x squared minus 20x squared by 3 and no, actually this x has to be here x has to be multiplied. So you will be getting 1575. So approximately you are getting the value as 3.4 into 10 to the power of 6 joules. So this is the work done. Now let us see some applications of area. So finding the area. So I hope this you would have received in WhatsApp. So this reminds us about the area between two curves. So the area between two curves. So how to calculate that? Until calculus, it was really very tough. It is not computable also, because only calculus has made it possible. See, this area, actually we don't know what is this curve, and we have to find the distance between these two circle in each and every point. Okay, so this is not a defined figure. So let us see how to apply calculus and then find the area. So now look at this. So that is actually in graph we have drawn like this. That is, you have two curves. One is the lower curve is blue curve, and the upper larger one is red curve. Now the area of the figure, it is like a moon. Actually, they gave it as a moon only because that one came for Ramzan, isn't it? So it is a crescent moon. Now the curve is nothing but y equal to root of, see, we are taking an example, 2.5 squared minus x squared. It is a semicircle with radius 2.5, and the above curve is nothing but sine pi x by 5. So the above curve is nothing but, you can relate it to sine curve. So one cycle of sine, actually it will go like this. So sine x is 0. So this starts from 0 and it is coming like this, 0 to 5. Okay. So y equal to sine pi x by 5. Now it is nothing but the area between the two curves. So now we look at the Riemann sums. So how will you try to put it in Riemann way? So divide each curve, that is separately, into n rectangles, delta x into f of xi and delta x into g of xi. So f is the semicircle and g is the sine curve. So then you can get the answer. And so the area is 0 to 5. So this is the difference between these two functions. So root of 2.5 squared minus x squared minus sine pi x by 5. Actually, this evaluation of this integral is not very, it is only a very simple thing. It is not complex also, because see, here you go for substitution. Yesterday we have seen only very basic thing of substitution, but here you have to use trigonometric substitution. So when you use x is equal to a sine theta or a sine u, anything. So what is a? This actually, it is of the form a square minus x square. This is a square minus x square. And if you put x is equal to 2.5 sine theta, so then 2.5 is common between these two terms. 2.5 squared you will take outside. Then it is actually root of 2.5 squared into 1 minus sine squared theta. So by using the formula, 1 minus sine squared theta equal to cos squared theta. So root of cos squared theta will give you cos theta. So it is now this first term reduces to 2.5 into cos theta. So it is very, very easy integration only. So the integrand becomes very, very easy. So when you go for substitution. So integral 2.5 cos theta, and dx, of course we have to use, dx is cos theta d theta. Again you will be getting 2.5 into cos squared theta d theta. So after that, cos squared theta, you know, either you go for substitute, and when you simultaneously, when you substitute x in terms of theta, you have to substitute the limit also. So when x equal to 0, what happens to theta? So theta will be, when cos x is equal to sine theta, means theta equal to 0. So when x is equal to 5, what happens to theta? So that way you have to find the limits also for theta. Okay, or to be more simpler, don't substitute theta, first integrate fast and then try to convert all theta into x back and then apply 0 to 5 itself. You will get the answer. So this you can try out. So the answer is 6.63438. And of course, the second integral sin pi x by 5 dx. So this integral you will be having integral sin x. So the answer for integral sin x is minus cos x. Minus cos x into, it is chain rule, into pi x by 5. So the derivative of pi x by 5. That is nothing but pi by 5. Okay, it is not into, it is divided by. So sin minus cos pi x by 5 divided by pi by 5. So that is the answer. So after subtracting, you will get the final answer is 6.6343. Okay. So now we shall see the proposition. That is, if two functions are there, both are from the interval a comma b to the real line set of all real numbers capital R. So both are Riemann integrable functions. Now with the condition f of x is greater than or equal to g of x. That is, one function is greater than or equal to g of x. That is where we will get a region in between two curves, in between two curves or two lines anyway. Okay, so f of one curve should be greater than the other curve, other function, so that for all the points it should happen x belongs to AB. Then the area between the graphs is given as a to b f of x minus g of x dx. So it is very simple. So now becomes Riemann has made it very, very simple. So integral a to b f of x minus g of x dx. So now see what happens if you have that is a equal to 1. We are seeing one more example. So a equal to 1 and b equal to 5. So somebody is asking question. Okay, once more you need the explanation. Galaxy S9. Okay. Can we find area covered under upper curve, area covered by lower curve? Yeah. See, Mohammed, actually your question, it is actually really it is fuzzy. See, area covered under upper curve, area covered by lower curve. Yeah. See, you can have it as a separate problem. That is integral f of x dx. That is what? It is a separate one and covered by lower curve. See, that this is what we have seen now. See, if you solve the first integral, this is integral f of x dx. This is the area covered under this outer curve. And this is, if you solve this integral sin pi x by 5 dx, this is nothing but the area covered under the lower triangle. Okay. Now, so separate answer. When you subtract these two, you will get this middle area. This middle area. Okay, this is nothing but what we have studied in earlier in our childhood days. How to calculate the distance between 3 centimeters starting, that is the position at 3 x-axis and the position at 5. So 5 minus 3, that is how. So the same technique is used here also. Okay, I hope I'm clear. So, do you want me to explain it once again? Okay. See, actually, this curve. So, see, this is the curve. We have seen that picture. In that picture, a crescent moon is seen. So, some food is filled here. So, how much area it is covering? Okay, this is what we want to find. So, now we are actually drawing that curve in a graph. With x-axis and y-axis. So the smaller curve is like, is the blue curve, and the larger one is the red curve. So the smaller curve is some function integral, that is root of 2.5 square minus x squared. The outer curve is nothing but sine curve. So we want to find out the area between these two curves. That is see the area. So this is what we want. This shaded area only we want. So for that, it is very simple technique only we are using through Riemann sums. You are finding the area below the upper curve, that is y equal to sin x, and then you are finding the area below the lower curve and then subtracting each other. So that is root of 2.5 square minus x squared minus sin pi x by pi dx. Okay, I hope I have clarified. So now we shall see one more small example. That is, we have taken here a equal to, see, this a as 1 and b as 5. A to b, no, a1 and b 5. So what happens to this kind of a curve? So here also the difference between two curves we can calculate through Riemann sums. And if that is the inequality condition fails, suppose if you don't have that, that is we cannot find whether which is greater or smaller, then you can take it as modulus. We want only the difference between these two areas. Okay, so we don't we don't give much importance to whether it is really greater than or less than, one function is greater than or one function is lesser. We want to calculate the difference between these two areas. Okay, now suppose see this one. Area of the plane region bounded by the two vertical lines, see, -2 and +2. Okay, so there are two curves. Here you cannot say anything about f of x and g of, you cannot compare. See, f of x is greater than or equal to g of x. Can we compare here? Because for some points one function is lesser, other function is greater. For some other points this function becomes greater and other function is lesser. So we cannot generalize. Okay, so this is a area between two coinciding curves. So it coincides. That is, it goes and grows up. It actually decreases and grows up each. And the other one is first it decreases and then goes up. And the intersecting point between these two, we want the intersected area. We want the intersected area like this. Okay, so in that case, if you don't know to compare, so whether f of x is greater or g of x is greater, so no problem. You take only the modulus. Okay, so x is equal to between -2. So the limit for this function is -2 to +2. And here for this problem, actually you can see that you need not apply integration at all. Let us see. Actually, it is the difference between 2 sin x equal to x squared minus 3. If you solve this equation, you will get x, the value of x, that is -1.102441. But that minus, when you go for area, you will leave this minus. Okay, so this is just an example where we don't have that condition. Now, so this application, actually I took this from book. Actually, I wanted to tell you about this flu vaccination because we are in that situation only. So it interested me. That is why I took this example. So the Health Canada, actually in the health group of Canada, has been monitoring flu outbreaks continuously over the last 100 years. So now, actually, within the annual cycle, the people, more number of people are affected by flu. So in a 20-year cycle, they have observed in all number of infections. Now we are taking this I of t as a well approximated function. So they have found out some function. So this is called actually mathematical modeling. See, whatever be the real life situation, we can bring it to mathematics. That is, modeling means it is nothing but an equation. An equation. Only an equation can be solved in mathematics. So you cannot say that, see, so many people are being affected every year. How can I solve? How can I find out the vaccination? If you keep on sticking on to the natural way, practical way, you cannot do anything. Mathematics cannot help. So if you want to use mathematics as a tool, you have to come to mathematics language. You have to write it as a mathematics language. So this is called mathematical modeling. So that I of t, that is the number of infections. So the number of infections, they have brought it as a function. I of t equal to cos pi by 6t. This is annual cycle. So every year plus 20 year cycle. So they have approximated one function. They brought it as cos pi by 6t plus cos pi by 120t plus 2. Now what do they want? Actually, t is measured in months and I of t is in individuals. I of t is number of persons affected. That is 1 lakh individuals. So for every 1 lakh, they have 1 lakh has been taken as a 1 unit. Now here we are going to give you the graph. So I of t over time and illustrate a superposition. See this one for 10 years it is t. You can see the graph. So the number of infections undergoes seasonal fluctuation. Actually it is every season it is actually fluctuating. Okay, this is common cold and afterwards you will get flu. So if your fever is very severe, it is named as flu. Okay. So the number of infections in seasonal fluctuations, this is superimposed of a 20-year cycle. So infections in 10 to the power of 5 individual, that is 1 lakh individual will give you one unit. So now, to eradicate the flu, we have to estimate the 5 years of intensive vaccination has to be given and quarantine also to be given. Now, and also we have to use the least number of resources, and so they decided to eradicate the program at the start of 5-year term, where the flu virus is naturally a 5-year minimum average. So minimum average, 5-year minimum average, they want to eradicate this flu. Now, we shall assume that we are starting t equal to 0 is Jan 1st 2013. So somebody is giving the answer. Mohammed, many mathematicians had given the mathematics for COVID-19, how to calculate the lockdown period for how long it's. Okay, yes, that is why I have taken this problem, Mohammed. Nice question. So we are, first of all, we have to find the function for this COVID-19. Okay, so first you find the function and then you follow this procedure. Okay, so let us see some mathematics. Let us wait and see whether we are getting any function. In many medical journals, actually it has come. So many people in US and all, they have started studying, and many journals it has come. Some analysis and mathematical model also has been given. So if you want, you can refer to some journals, so which I will mail you. Okay, I will mail you the name of some journal so that you can measure that. You can refer that. Yeah, good question. So this shows your interest. Okay, now let us come to this flu infection, right? Okay, now what we are assuming? We are assuming that at t equal to 0, we are assuming it as January 1st, 2013. So now when should they start this program? Okay, so in a 5-year cycle they have taken, right? Let us see how our calculus is going to help in this context. Now, first of all, average. So we have to find 5-year average. So average means it is bar, I bar of t, isn't it? So x means x bar is average. So I bar of t is nothing but 1 by 60. 5-year means in months, isn't it? So I of t is in months. So for 5-year you have 5 into 12, 60. So 1 by 60 and the time is t to t plus 60. Okay, so every year integrate between t to t plus 60 I of s ds. So that I of s is nothing but cos pi by 6t cos pi by 120t. I'm sorry, this should be s. Okay, so cos pi by 6s plus cos pi by 120s plus 2 into ds. So this is equal to 1 by 20. Now when you integrate cos pi by 60 s, you will be getting it as plus sine x into into 6 by pi. Actually divided by pi by 6, that is nothing but into 6 by pi. Okay, sine pi by 6s into 6 by pi plus sine pi by 120s into 120 by pi plus 2 into ds. 2 is a constant, so integral ds is nothing but s. So 2s between t to t plus 60. So when you apply this upper limit and lower limit, you will be getting like this. So let us see how to go about. Now minimum of 5-year average we have to find. So minimum value if you want to find out, first you have to find the first derivative and equate it to 0. So di bar t by dt equal to 1 by 60. So this differentiate this function. So if you differentiate this function d by dt with respect to t, you will be getting sine means it is minus cos, and again sine means minus cos, and this constant will be 0, and then minus sine, that will be plus cos, minus sine will be plus cos. So this is the derivative. So everywhere it is cos minus cos, and this is equal to so when you substitute everything, that is pi plus theta, pi by 2 plus theta, all those things put together, after doing some trigonometric simplification, you will be getting the answer as 1 by 60 minus sine pi by 120 t minus cos pi by 120 into t. Okay, so if you really work out, sit and work out this one, it is very simple only. You have to use that transformation of trigonometric functions, that is cos pi by 2 plus theta or sine pi by 2 plus theta, something you will be getting, no? So that always study trigonometry carefully. So that table you have to use. Then now 5-year average of flu infection over time. So this is the average graph we are getting from t to t plus 60. So this is the average line we have got for this. Okay, this is the average. Now so there here, for simplification, you can use this one, cos alpha plus beta equal to cos alpha cos beta minus sin. That formula you have to use, and then of course this is what I told you, cos pi by 120t is equal to minus sin pi by 120t. So where so when it will be equal, so cos alpha equal to minus sin alpha means only for alpha equal to 3 pi by 4 and alpha equal to 7 pi by 4. So two values we are getting. Now of course it will be a multiple of 2 pi also. Okay, now cos is a decreasing function, hence so it we accept this value 3 pi by 4, alpha equal to 3 pi by 4. This is your minimum value we are getting. So alpha is 3 pi by 4. So now put pi, so this will give you, now if you put pi by 120 equal to 3 pi by 4, so if you replace the value of alpha, you will be getting t as 90 months. So this indicates that 5-year. Also we have to check what is the second derivative. So second derivative, of course, it is greater than 0, which means that value, that is this 90, t equal to 90 is the minimum value. So earliest intervention they have to start is June 1st, 2020. That is from tomorrow. Okay. So the earliest, see, 2013 they have started. So now only it has come. But before the vaccination became effective, we have got another pandemic. So that is nature. Okay. So this is one more interesting and another one. Let us see. Go for volume. Okay. So for volume, find the volume of the object generated when the area between y equal to x squared and y equal to x is rotated around the x-axis. So imagine that you rotate around the x-axis, y equal to x squared and y equal to x. This solid has a hole in the middle. This solid actually it has got a hole in the middle. Now we have to compute the volume. So how will you compute the volume? By subtracting the volume of the hole. So that hole, the volume of that hole has to be subtracted. Okay. So we shall see how we are going to do it. Now, so this is solid with a hole. Okay. Showing the outer cone and the shape removed from, see this one, it is removed from the hole. So these are the shapes. Okay. So different position of that cone we are. So actually, this is the axis. Y equal to x is this line, and y equal to x squared is a parabola. So actually parabola, and this is the intersecting area. Okay. So now imagine that this is being rotated. This is being rotated along the around the x-axis. Okay. So like this, it will be rotated. Now we know that volume of the cone is pi by 3. Okay. And of course 1 by 3 pi r squared h. Here we are taking it as unit cone at a particular value of x. So that is the cross section. So you are taking the cross section and it is a circle with radius xi squared. So the volume will be pi r squared into dx. Pi x squared, x squared is the volume, and then it is the area, radius, sorry, pi r squared dx. So that we are getting it as pi 1 by 5, and the volume of the whole cone is pi by 3 minus pi by 5. That becomes 2 pi by 15. Now we have to calculate area between the curves also. That is all the curves. In between the curves, what is the first we have to find the area, and then how many curves are there we have to add. So now to do so, now we can find approximating the volume of the actual solid. That is, you take this washer. Okay, washer shaped volume. So this is the cross section we are actually assuming. Now volume of such washer is the area of the space times the thickness. So the volume of the washer will be, so I'll again show you the washer. So the volume is space times area into what is the thickness. So the thickness is how much thickness you are dividing. That actually we are taking it as delta x. So our Riemann has instructed us to take always same delta x. So while the area of the face is area of the outer circle minus area of the inner circle. Washer means you can imagine there are two circles. So outer circle the area is pi capital R squared, and inner circle the area is pi small r squared. So at a particular xi, so what is r? The radius r is xi. So here, anyway, this we are going to take many number of washers. So we are taking capital R as xi, and small r is x squared I. Okay. So now, so integral, so the difference between these two. So after integrating, you are getting it as 2 pi by 15. Now another perception is, suppose the region between f of x is equal to x plus 1. Actually this is x, and suppose if the f of x, you are taking one more way, x plus 1 and x minus 1 is rotated around the y-axis. Suppose if you rotate like this, then also it is actually really it is possible. Yes. One second. Somebody has got the question. Thank you, Mohammed. Yeah, actually, am I not clear? Audible? My voice is not clear, huh? Okay. Thank you for your concern. I will manage, don't worry. Then, so now if you take g of x, f of x is equal to x plus 1 and g of x is x minus 1 the whole square is rotated around the y-axis. So we'll see. Now there are two kinds of typical rectangles here. See, that go from the line to the parabola. Okay, so from the line to the parabola and which touches the end of the parabola. Which touches the end of the parabola. Now these two integrals you can have, that is 1 plus root of y squared. So the difference between these two, 1 plus root of y the whole square minus 1 minus root of y the whole square. So then you in this angle you are getting 27 by 2 pi. So it is only simple integration. 1 plus root y the whole square you can evaluate a plus b the whole square, and y minus 1 the whole square you can evaluate as a minus b the whole square, and then simplify, and then you can integrate. Now, so again we rotate around the y-axis, we get a thin shell instead of a thin washer. So if you rotate around the y-axis, you will get you won't get a washer, you will get a shell. So if you add up the volumes of such thin shells, we will get an approximation. Okay, that approximation, this sheet will be almost rectangular. So that is the f of xi minus g of xi tall. So with the delta x of thickness, and your shell width of the shell is 2 pi xi. So the namely it is called the circumference of the shell. So now finally the volume will then be generated like this: 2 pi x f of x minus g of x dx, which is equal to 0 to 3 2 pi a into like that. So all the put together. So here we have to understand the concept that how we are actually dividing into intervals. Even it is not very simple. If it is not very see, in area we approximated it as rectangles, but when it comes for volume, actually it will be approximated as area only. Okay, we cannot that rectangle also simply we cannot find the area length into breadth. So we have to use another formula, further formula for this. Next, volume, another example. So how we are going to find the volume of a given cylinder? So actually the circular cylinder V is equal to pi r squared h. Okay, so how we are going to use this? So a cylinder is bounded by a plane region. So this is B1 and this is the base, and B2 is the parallel plane T, and with the height h. So here the cylinder consists of all points on line segments. Actually, we know what is the volume of the cylinder, but when some flow is happening, that means we have to depend on calculus only. Okay. See, the general volume of the cylinder everybody knows, that is pi r squared h. That we know. It is a full volume. But what happens at each and every minute? That is what we are trying to find here. So when some liquid is flowing, okay, so at a particular time, what will be the volume? So that we cannot calculate simply by using this volume as area into h, total surface area, everything. Okay. Yeah, for Galaxy S9, what if the area of B1 was different from that of B2? Yeah, that is a different approach. We have to see B1 actually for each and B1 also, here also we are going to find out B1 and B2 separately. So you can see this, and then we will you will understand. So now the area of the base is capital A, and the height of cylinder is h. So the distance from B1 to B2, that is your height. So volume of the cylinder is defined as V equal to A. This we know. So area into height. Now, if the base is a circle with radius r, then the cylinder is a circular cylinder. We get it as V equal to pi r squared h. So both area are common. Okay. So now if if something else is there, if the base is a rectangle with length L and width W, then the cylinder is a rectangular box. So cylinder becomes rectangular box. That is called rectangular parallelepiped. So what is the volume of this parallelepiped? L into W into H, rectangular box. Now if suppose some other thing irregular, that is rectangular parallelepiped, okay, this becomes okay. Suppose if for a solid, yes, that is not a cylinder at all. Okay. Suppose if it is not a cylinder, what will happen? So that is why cylinder means, as somebody answered the doubt now, a cylinder means both the base area and the top area will be the same, isn't it? Suppose if it is not a cylinder, we will have a solid figure. So that how we are going to estimate the volume, we have to see. See here, this is a irregular solid. Okay. Now, imagine that you are cutting a bread into with a knife. Okay, that is if this shape, this is an irregular shape, and you are cutting with a knife. That knife is plane. That knife is a plane. So this is a cross section. Now you can see that the cross section is inside. That is the area A of X. So this is the cross section. A of X, you are taking it as the area of the cross section of S in a plane. So this plane is PX, which is perpendicular to the x-axis. This plane actually it is perpendicular to the x-axis and passing through the point X. Actually, this X point of X lies on the plane. Now this X will be between A and B. So thinking that is, as I told you, you think of a slicing something with a knife. So this is the imagination. Now, this cross-sectional A of X will not be the same for the whole solid figure. Here it will be lesser, and here it will increase. It will increase and then it will again decrease. So X increases from A to B and it increases as well as decreases. So it is not constant. A of X is also not constant. That area is not constant. Okay. Now we are going to divide this irregular solid into n slabs of equal width. That is very important. Okay. So what is that perpendicular plane? What are they? They are px1, px2, etc. Okay. So cutting a bread with a knife. So that is the imagination we have to have. Now, so as usual, you take the arbitrary points xi star in the interval xi minus 1 comma xi. Then approximately we take the ith slab as si. Okay. So that is between the planes. So pxi minus 1 and pxi only. It is not big xi minus 1. So with base area as A of xi star and height delta x. So now the volume of the cylinder is A of xi star into delta x. That is area into delta x approximately. And adding the volumes of these slabs, we get an approximation to the total volume. Now again, repeating the same thing. When n goes to infinity, you get the actual volume. Okay. So limit extending to infinity, A of xi star summation A of xi star delta x. That is A to B f of x dx. A of x dx. So this is the actual volume. Okay. So volume formula is this one. Suppose if A of x is constant and between A to B, you will be getting A of x. All A of x will be A. Then A you take it outside, A into B minus A. That is area into volume. We have gone back to the original formula. Okay. So next, the last topic is center of mass. So what do you mean by a center of mass? So now the point at which the object can be balanced. So that is the first point. And It is a point at which the rotate torque means the rotating force from the mass elements of an object sum to it should be 0. Okay. Then the center of mass is useful because problems can often be simplified by treating a collection of masses as one mass. So that is, you can add every mass, and then we can have we can find where the center of that mass is located. Now, see, this is the this is here. That is, see, from the origin you have at the point x1 some m1 is situated. This mass is situated. Then at the point x2 m2 is situated. At the point x3 m3 is situated. Like this it goes on. So x will be summation. This is the formula for finding out center of mass. Sum of clockwise moments about the center of mass equal to sum of anti-clockwise moments about the center of mass. So this is one fact about center of mass. So x center of mass is calculated as summation I equal to 1 to n mi xi divided by m, total mass. M is total mass. Now with an example as usual. So you take a beam of 10 meters long and there are weights on the beam. One is 10 kg weight 3 meters from the left end, and 5 kg is situated 6 meters from the left, and 4 kg weight situated 8 meters away from the origin. So where should the fulcrum be placed so that the beam balances? So we need the situation we have to solve. So now you assign a scale to the beam like this. From 0 to the left end to 10 at the right. So 0 to 10 we are just equal with equal unit displacing distance. You just place it on the beam. Now x equal to 3, x equal to 6, x equal to 8, like this you place. So this is the 10 kg, 5 kg, 4 kg. Now the fulcrum is placed at x equal to 5. So what happens? Each weight applies a force at the beam that tends to rotate it around the fulcrum. So if you place the fulcrum, it tends to rotate at the fulcrum. Okay. So this effect, actually it is called torque, this quantity, and it is proportional to mass into distance from the fulcrum. So now mass is actually, so this is the way we are calculating. Weights on different sides of the fulcrum rotate the beam on opposite direction. That is natural. So we have the torque induced by 3 weights will be 3 minus 5 into 10 equal to minus 20, and each weight if you calculate. Okay. So the torque if you calculate, you will be taking it as, you will be finding out that as first one is minus 20, 5 and 12. Then so to balance the sum of the torques, it should be 0. Okay, the sum should be 0 in order to balance the beam. So the beam rotates counterclockwise, and to get the beam to balance, we need to move fulcrum to the left. You have to move. So to calculate this, you need to find out what is x bar. Okay, x bar is the average. 3 minus x bar into 10 plus 6 minus x bar into 5 plus 8 minus x bar into 4. So now, here we shall see, go to the original figure. So this 10 x1 is 10 meters long, and that the density is 1 plus x kilogram per meter at location x. Now to that is the portion of the beam between x equal to 0 and x equal to 1. Weight sitting is, there is nothing. M equal to x equal to 0. So the portion between x equal to 1 and x equal to 2, the second mass is sitting, and so on. Okay, so like this, if you imagine, and then approximate the mass of the weights by assuming that each portion of the beam has constant density. So now m0 is equal to 1 plus 0 into 1, that is 1 kg, like this. So each one, m up to m10, if you calculate, this will be the total torque. Now, so this, if we set this to 0, actually we have to equate this to 0 for x bar. Now to find out x bar. So x bar, if you solve, we will be getting it as 6. Now what is the mass ith mass, mi. That is 1 plus xi into that distance, xi plus 1 minus xi. That is given by like this. So the torque is induced by the weight number. So hence the total torque will be summation I equal to 1 to n minus 1 xi into 1 plus xi delta x. Okay. So this is how you calculate that center of mass. So now finding out x bar, you are getting, so equate that to 0 and then find out the x bar. X bar will be summation I equal to n minus 1. That is this summation divided by the summation which is on the left. So when you calculate this, you will be, your x bar is getting, you are getting it as summation means again n, allow n to infinity, then 0 to 10 x into 1 plus x dx by 0 to 10 1 plus x. If you evaluate both the integrals, then you are done. You will be finding, you would have found out the center of mass. Okay. So now finally the answer x bar is 6.39. Okay. So these are the books I have used to prepare this one. Then as usual, some problems. So there ends our session. Now I am open for questions. Any questions? So
thank you, ma'am, for a wonderful session. Now I request the participants to please post your questions in the chat box so that ma'am can start answering one by one.
I have given the problems for practice also, this slide and the next slide. So first one is work done and volume. Actually, you need not be restricted with this many problems alone. See, you have many problems in your textbook as well as in internet. Many problems are there. So you try out any problem, and if you don't get the answer also, you can contact me. That is, you mail to me. I will tell you where you have gone wrong. So that I can do it. So you can copy the questions now, and if you have any doubts, you can ask.
First question is from Galaxy S9 Plus.
Yes.
Crescent sum.
Krishnakanta. No, ma'am, Galaxy X9, I have I have explained, ma'am, that is the B1 and B2 are different. So that is what we have seen. And one more is, can we use the same center of mass formula? The beams are placed perpendicular to each other. Where can we take the origin? Yeah. No, that we have to see the situation and then only we can use. Okay.
Again, he's asking, ma'am, Galaxy.
Galaxy, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
What is the question, ma'am?
The area below two curves.
Where, ma'am? I cannot see.
The crescent moon, and that's some.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, for finding volume.
He wants you to explain once more.
Shapes, math book will be better to learn. So finding volumes of irregular shapes. Yeah, actually, this book, what I have given you, I have used for reference. That also is a nice book. I will show you once again. You can go for that book. That book is available. PDF is available free of free internet. Which one you want to explain once more? Galaxy S9.
The crescent problem, ma'am. Crescent moon is there, no? That problem.
Okay. See, the one actually this book only I referred here. It is integral calculus with applications to life sciences. Actually, not this one here. Single and multivariable calculus, David Butchart. Actually, in this book it is explained very clearly. Many problems, many applications he has given. Okay, always I advise you to go for foreign author book, because local author you won't, the situation would not have been explained clearly. So there are many authors, I don't deny it, but still. So if you go for foreign author, actually that Craze, integrated calculus, engineering mathematics by Craze, that book also is very good. Yeah, I will explain once again the crescent problem.
Ma'am, sorry to interrupt you. I'll just
Yes, ma'am.
give an announcement.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Participants, I have just pinged the certificate link to you in the chat box. So please fill up the name and other details properly, because that will be that will come in your e-certificate. Okay, so please fill up your name followed by your initials properly. So as it will appear as you are typing in that form. Okay, so please type that form properly. Only then the e-certificate will be generated. I'll share it once again for those who have missed out and rejoined. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, you please continue.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions are there? You can please keep posting in the chat box, others.
Yeah, actually, this is the figure. So we want to find out the area between these two curves. So one in blue and the other one in as in red. So blue and red. We have to find out the area between these two curves. That is in the center. Okay. Now. So actually the area of the figure that looks like a crescent moon is y is equal to root of 2.5 square minus x squared, because actually it looks as if the semicircle of radius 2.5. Okay, so it is actually a radius, part of radius that is a radius, circle, that is a circle, so with the radius as 2.5. So that means x squared plus y squared equal to 2.5 squared. So you get y equal to root of 2.5 square minus x squared. And the other one is actually the sine curve. So now we are taking the Riemann sums. So Riemann sums means under the curve we are splitting into equal rectangles under each curve. So first function f of x, under that you just divide into n rectangles, and second function also you divide this into n rectangles. So delta x will be common for, that is the width is common for both. So now, so we want to find out the area, that is the area of this circle minus the area of the sine curve. Okay, so the area of this circle minus the area of the sine curve will give you this part, that is this this middle part, because this area, the circle area will be found out by choosing, by dividing n rectangles till the x-axis. Till the x-axis, you have to extend the rectangles, and then as usual, how we are doing the Riemann sum, we have to find out the area of the outer circle, and then inner circle also again you have to divide into equal width of rectangles, and then apply Riemann sum and find out the area. Then you have two areas separately, so you subtract one from the other. Okay, of course the lower area from the greater area, then you will get the answer, area of the middle term, middle part. I hope I have clarified.
Krishnakant, Your form is okay, Krishnakant. I saw your submission. It is okay. You want Mohammed? I'm resharing the certificate link once again. You can fill it up after the question and answer session. It will be open for today. Others, any questions you have, ma? Please post it in the chat box.
Where Krishnakant, why are putting X there in numerator? Where ma? Where actually I don't understand. X there in the numerator. What do you mean by that?
See, you
So
specify your question.
Inside the sign, okay. See, sign, actually this is not actually sign X, ma. So now you can go for the, I advise you to go and actually look at all sine theta graphs. See, normally what we do is sine X. That X can have many things, any value. Okay. See, for this, we have taken it as sine pi x by phi. So in this example, it is nothing but sine ax, nx, no, that n value of n is pi by pi. That is why we are taking x in the numerator. I think that is your question. On the top, Rahul, what is your question? I am unable to understand. On the top, where on the top?
Ruben Rahul, can you please elaborate on the question that you are asking, ma?
Yeah, in the chat itself. Or ma'am, can you please unmute him so that you... Ruben Rahul, you want to explain your question?
Ma'am, what he is finding is why this is taken as a half circle. That is his doubt, I feel.
Why it is taken as option? No, ma'am, it is only example, ma'am. It is not actually, ma'am. I have shown that figure. Actually, that crescent moon. No, so this is one figure I received in WhatsApp. Just to make it interesting, I posted this figure. But we are not actually we are not actually calculating this area. It is we have taken one example like this.
Okay, ma'am.
He has posted once again. Yes,
his doubt is he's asking some of the answers for area under the curve. He's getting it as negative.
Where? Yeah.
No, he's 12th standard, ma'am.
12th standard, ma'am. Okay. Anyway, I will go through those 12th standard book because where see area cannot be negative, but some technical error will be there. I think. Normally in schools, what they say is if you get the area is equal to negative, you take it as you remove the sign. You just neglect the sign and take. But actually, it should not happen because there will be some error in taking the function of x f of x. I will go through. If you specify me which book, I will get back to you, ma. Which page of the book?
Ruben Rahul, I think I have shared your Tamiselvi ma'am's contact details also in the chat. So you can please contact ma'am, send it through WhatsApp or mail her.
Yeah. Oh, okay, ma'am. Ruben Rahul, you mail to me. I will certainly clarify your doubt. Okay. Yeah.
Any other questions, participants? Once again, I'm repeating. I'm keeping on posting the link for certificate. So you have to go and type your name properly. The way you type it there, the same thing only will appear in the certificate. So type it with your initial followed by your, however way you want your name followed by your last name.
Ma'am, one more question in the chat box. Like,
yes, ma'am. If f of x is negative for some reason, they usually take the negative of the function to make it positive so that the area is positive. Yeah. Yeah, that also is there. Yes. Okay. Yes, Jai Bhunesh. Yeah, but actually I want to see where it comes as negative. Why we have to take f of x as negative? That question
What
also.
he means is, instead of having it in the first quadrant, if it is in the fourth quadrant or third quadrant, where y itself becomes negative.
Yeah.
So
That
when
means, ma'am, for regular shape it is okay, ma'am. If f of x is irregular, that is some curve, what will happen? It will not be uniform on all the quadrants, ma'am. So at that time we have to see, no? So that also will be there. It will give you some error, ma'am. So that is why we have to see, look at the function actually. What function it is? Why we have to take? If it is okay, that is, if the shape is regular, is uniform on all the quadrants, then no problem. Wherever we want, as you actually we will see, no, that using in vector calculus you will have 4 times first quadrant area, like that. So like that.
In integration definition,
Yes,
is there a case which says that it has to be always positive area under the curve is maybe positive, but with negative values of y is negative.
Yeah.
Then what will happen?
No, why?
That is their question.
See, why is negative means actually, ma'am, we are restricting to 0 less than or equal to f of x less than or equal to infinity. That is the basic definition.
Yes, sir. That definition has to be there. Unless it is defined, then we cannot do the integration. So that is that clarifies your doubt, Manish, everyone. Otherwise, because the definition of integration itself says that f of x has to lie in the first quadrant. It is from 0 to infinity only. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am. He has posted yes.
Yes.
Any other doubts, participants? So this webinar series is going to continue for forthcoming 3 weeks. So weekends, we are going to conduct the webinar. It will be the same meeting ID and also the same timings for all the participants. So I'll be mailing you all the details through mail also. We request you to participate in all the sessions. So you will be getting certificate for each and every webinar participation. Along with that, if you are present for all the 5 weeks FDP webinar series, then you will get an additional certificate.
Ma'am, I would like to answer Bhuvanesh's question.
Yes,
what he is asking is, do we have to take the modulus? That is, Bhuvanesh, if you are considering third quadrant and fourth quadrant, we are thinking of a case which is not at all possible in real time. Like we cannot take back something. If it is negative, what happens is we are taking something back from what is actually there. Integration is accumulation. So what we have to do is we have to keep on adding. We cannot take something back, subtract things. Like what ma'am has told us, a flow of water bucket getting filled in. Here what happens is you cannot take things out and do the integration. What actually you are doing is you are doing the subtraction. Though they may, for some theoretical thing, we can have it as that is one thing, but the naturally occurring cases it will not happen. That's why integration definition itself says that f of x should be from 0 to f of infinity. Is that understood? Bhuvanesh?
Jai Bhuvanesh.
Jai Bhuvanesh. Have you understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Class for thermodynamics.
We will see whether we can conduct a class for thermodynamics. Ma'am, next week what course is being taught?
Ma'am, algebra and trigonometry, ma'am.
So next week we will be having algebra and trigonometry. Again, same timing, 11 to 1 on both Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
Any other questions, participants? Ma'am, Jai Bhuvanesh has one more question.
Area try integrating from -1 to +1. In that case only No. Jay Bhunesh, you are not annoying me. Actually, it is my duty to answer your question.
Ma'am, but it's coming as positive, ma'am. No.
Yeah, it is coming. That is what.
It's coming as positive, ma'am.
Yeah, it will be positive.
You check it out. It is coming.
Yeah,
as
yeah, it is coming as positive only.
2x minus 1. When you substitute plus 1, it becomes 1. When you substitute minus 1, when you substitute plus 1,
No, ma'am.
2x minus plus 1 is 1. Minus 1 means minus 2, minus 3, but that would be in the second limit. So plus 4 will be the answer.
1 by 4. Yeah, 1 by 4.
Mm.
Yeah, it is positive only, ma. It is positive only. Yeah. It is positive only. You won't get it as well.
In case you have negative answers, just post the questions to ma'am through mail. Any more questions? Any doubts?
X cube to minus 6. Say Bhunesh, you actually are having between what, ma? X cube minus x? What are the limits? Minus 1 and plus 1, actually it becomes 0 because it is an odd function. No. X cube minus x is an odd function, and minus b to plus b will give you the answer as 0.
Any other questions, ma, participants? Once again, I'm posting Tamil Selvi ma'am's mail ID. So you can contact Tamil Selvi ma'am for any further questions which you are not able to discuss in detail here. Okay. As of now, you have any further questions to be discussed? Please post it in the chat box. Ma'am, we'll wait for another 2 minutes, ma'am, whether
Yes,
if anybody is posting any question.
Yeah. Shall I stop share, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You can, ma'am. We hope that all the participants will be participating for the forthcoming webinars also. So as ma'am informed, the next week it will be algebra and trigonometry, no ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So it will be algebra and trigonometry. So we request all the participants to make best use of the webinar. And if you have any queries about Alpha College of Engineering also, you received a mail from my mail ID, ACE event at Alpha Group. So you can post the queries there, and you can even post your queries regarding you require any proper details. We have the college number in the website also where you can contact us. Participants, any further questions?
Ma'am, I think we can wind up.
Yes,
Ah.
yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you
Yes,
all
ma'am.
for your very active participation. Hope that we see this kind of an active participation in the forthcoming weeks. All of you, please fill up the certificate details, and immediately e-certificate will be generated for you. Thank
Ma'am,
you
that
all.
form,
Ma'am,
ma'am,
I
the
have.
form has the feedback as well, no, ma'am?
Yes,
Ah,
yes, ma'am.
yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Ah,
And
yes,
also
ma'am.
any topics for future events is also there, ma'am. That also
Okay.
I will.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Thank you all.
Yes, ma'am. We can wind up the
Yes.
session.
Yes, ma'am.